All right, hey everybody, thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. I want to talk a little bit about the motor that's going to be built to go into my 1972 Porsche 911T hot rod. I'm going to take the stock 2.4 that I dropped from the car, use several of the original stock parts from the motor, in addition to some upgraded or higher performance parts. So starting with the case, I'm going to keep the original case. The case is actually numbers matching to my car. I wanted to keep that as the platform for the build. It's an early mag case though. We all know that there's challenges and issues with mag cases in general, in particular the early mag cases. So it's a 3R, 4R, and what that means is it was so early in the production run, they were still using up the 3R halves, right? So half of my case is a 3R, the other half is a 4R. Again, but numbers matching. So it's important for me to preserve this. I did send the case off in addition to all my other parts to Ollie's out in Lake Havasu, Arizona. They did a great job on the case. Quite a bit of work was done on that case to bring it back all within spec, upgrade it where it needed to be upgraded, and it's gonna be good to go for this build. So see, moving on from the case, also gonna be using the stock rockers, the stock crankshaft, the stock rods, stock heads. I mean, it's a 2.4 MFI, so they are the MFI heads. I did have them ported and polished though, so they are now at RS spec. They look beautiful. Again, they came back from Ollie's looking fantastic. Anxious to bolt those on. We'll be using Doherty Racing DC30 camshaft. We'll talk about that when we get to that part of the build, as to why I selected that camshaft. Yeah, and to get to the 2.5 displacement, I'll be using Nicky's slip-in cylinders with JE pistons. So that'll get me up to the 2.5 that I'm looking for without having to machine out the case spigots or anything else. I don't want to weaken the case that I've got. So moving on from the motor into fuel delivery. Again, sticking with MFI. I had my MFI pump sent out to Mark Jung at MFI Works up in Bend, Oregon. Did a great job. So the pump has been completely rebuilt, and it's all spec'd to match my build, right? So it's actually, again, my car was a 911T originally. This pump is now performing greater than a 911S pump, right? I'll get into those details. There's some differences there and how Mark dialed that in. So excited about that. Also, the throttle bodies were completely rebuilt and bored out to SRS specs by Matt Blast out in Massachusetts with Eurometrics. And the stacks were taper bored out to SRS specs by Aaron Burnham with Burnham Performance. Let's see, as far as ignition goes, pretty close to stock. I am going to retain the stock distributor. I did have it completely rebuilt. I will be upgrading the CDI. I purchased the CDI from Classic Retrofit. It's pretty slick. I mean, it looks stock, but much better than the original CDI box. So we'll also talk about that when we get to that point in the build. So with that, looking for the motor to put out about 200 horsepower with a very broad, usable power range. Also looking for some decent torque down low. Certainly didn't want this to be a high revving screamer motor. As fun as that can be, I live in Southern California. I'm stuck in traffic all the time, and really just I want the motor to be dependable and fun, whether I'm in traffic or I'm up in the hills or canyons. So anyway, looking forward to it. Hope you guys will join me. I will be doing the build through chapters, so that if there's only a certain amount of information you're interested in, it should be well organized. I'll try to keep the clips somewhat short so that you can move through them, and I hope you find them informative. All right, thanks. Let's get started.